there, my name's Jessie and I'm here to help you on your area problem. So the length of a rectangle is 10 inches greater than the width. The area of the rectangle is 75 square inches. Find the dimensions. Whenever you're faced with a problem that requires you to find the area or perimeter of a shape, the best way to approach this problem is to draw a picture, okay? So here's our rectangle that we're dealing with, and we have our length here. I'm just going to mark it with an L, and here's our width, okay? So they tell us that the rectangle is 10 inches greater than the width. So it's telling us if we take our width, which we don't know our width, we're just going to call it W, and if we add 10 inches to it, that's how long our length is. So over here, we know that our width is just W, okay? It also tells us that the area is 75 inches squared. So we know to find the area of a rectangle, the formula is actually length times width, right? So in this case, our length is W plus 10, and our width is just W. When we multiply those two together, we get an answer of 75. So now we can start to solve this problem. And the first thing we need to do is distribute that W into the parentheses. So we get 75 equals W times W is W squared, and then W times 10 is positive 10W. So now since we're dealing with a polynomial with a degree of 2, we want to make this into a quadratic equation. So we're going to subtract 75 from both sides. So we get 0 equals W squared plus 10W minus 75. So now we're going to factor this in order to find what these equal to. So we're going to set two different parentheses up. Okay, this is how we solve the polynomial. And so these first two terms have to multiply to give us W squared. So I know it has to be W and it has to be W. Okay? These last two terms, they have to multiply to give us negative 75, but add to give us positive 10. So if we think about the factors of 75, obviously we have 1 and 75. That's obviously not going to work, right? We can also have 3 and 25. But there's no way to subtract 3 and 25 to give us a positive 10, so we know it's not that. We could also do 5 and 15. Well, 5 and 15, if we subtract those from each other, that gives us a 10, right? So we know that we can use 5 and 15 here to get our 75. Now, when we add or subtract our 5 and 15, we want to come up with positive 10. That tells me that we have to have a negative 5 and a positive 15. So now all we're going to do is we're going to set both of these equal to 0. So I'm going to go up here, W minus 5 equals 0, W plus 15 equals 0. And then we just solve. Plus 5 on both sides. So W equals 5, subtract 15. W equals negative 15. So here we have two answers. Our width either equals positive 5 or negative 15. Well, when you're measuring width, you can't have a negative measurement. So that one definitely doesn't work. We know that our width has to be 5. Now to find our length, all we're going to do is plug in 5 for W over here. So 5 plus 10 is 15. So down here we know our width is 5 inches. And our length is 15 inches. And those are your answers. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me and I can help you out.